What do off-roaders think about? What's their mindset? Hey everyone, Steven here. I am working on an edit right now from the Vernal Rock Rally, and there was just so much material that I couldn't possibly include all of it in our regular episode. So I'm going to be putting out a few pieces of content that are just for social media. Now, one of the first things I want to share with you here is a conversation that I had with this awesome guy named Randy. And Randy became a kind of off-road Obi-Wan Kenobi for me and helped me understand how they think, because I was kind of nervous. I was kind of kept expecting to, I don't know, crash or have something break. I wasn't really worried about getting hurt, but maybe getting stuck way out in the wilderness, out in the middle of nowhere. But Randy was just as calm as can be, just driving along over these huge rocks and everything. And I say huge. You all are going to watch this. You serious off-roaders are going to watch this and be like, there's nothing huge about those rocks. But for me, this was huge. I drive a minivan, so this was a serious off-roading experience for me. So you've got me intrigued at the mindset of an off-roader, because the average person would look at this and they wouldn't even see a road. I mean, this is not a pathway. This is a collection of dirt and rocks that just happens to be the width of a vehicle.
Yeah,
so, what do you see?
To me, it's a safe adrenaline rush. I mean, it's not high speed. You're not going to get hurt. I mean, you might break something, you might bend something, but really, people don't get hurt in this. But it's also a lot of a challenge to get places that most people can't get to. So we spend all our money on this stuff to be able to do these things and have a good time with it.
And you're having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
Tell me about your rig.
My rig is a 1998 Jeep Cherokee. His name is Bart. His name used to be Black Bart, but I rolled him 3 years ago, and I spent 2 years putting him back together. I built presses out of a bottle jack and pipes and pressed him all back together and fixed everywhere he was crushed, and then did a whole lot of other stuff just to make him nice. But he's got 2021 Rubicon axles on it. He's got a brand new stroked 4-liter 6-cylinder, so it's a 4.6. Transmission's been redone, transfer case been redone. So really the only thing on this thing is the 1998 is the Jeep itself. It's on a 5.5-inch lift built by Moab Outfitters. And it's a great ride. I love him. The vehicle shows 207,000. When I bought it, it had 204,000 on it. So I put 3,000 miles on it, but it's trailered everywhere I go. I don't really drive it on the road. I might drive it to 7-Eleven or Maverick or something like that, but he sits in the garage, and then anytime we go somewhere, he's on a trailer. So these 3,000 miles have been off-road, on rocks, on hills, on trails. And I try to take good care of him. I give him a good cleaning before we go, a good cleaning after we go. I look at everything, make sure that everything's working the way it's supposed to, and just try to make sure that I've got a safe vehicle to ride in. Little obstacle there we had to move around.
Yeah, if you would.
Tell me about your ceiling.
My ceiling is a map of Moab. I saw it on Facebook. I thought it was a great idea, and I found a company on Amazon that if you send them a picture, they'll print it on fabric for you. And so I found a topographical map of the Moab area and sent them this picture, and lo and behold, they sent me back this fabric, and we redid this headliner with that fabric.
You like the
Your
adrenaline
snow,
rush?
Skyler.
It's an adrenaline rush, but it's a calming rush for me. I mean, I don't get stressed out about this. This is more me relaxing, honestly. I don't get all worked up about it. That's why I like the crawling so much, because I can just go slow and work my way up. But there's a lot of satisfaction in it. So I guess you could call that adrenaline. But it's also very calming to me. Roads like this are great. I love roads like this. I love roads like what's on Docks Beach, where it's just a big slick face and you can just drive across the front of it and just crawl your way up. That's what rock crawling is to me, is the slower and steeper that you can climb, the funner it is. More fun it is.
Has the trail ever turned you back?
Other
than when you rolled?
Other than when I rolled, no. I've finished every trail I've ever gone on. So, yeah, I don't really get scared. I just have fun with it. You know, more than anything, I worry that I'm gonna hurt Bart. But see, this isn't about going as fast as you can. This is about getting over this stuff as easily as you can without tearing stuff up. So, light on the throttle. You know, don't bash into things. Just take it slow, take it easy, and you finally get to where you want to go. When I rolled him, I learned my lesson. I slowed down a lot. I paid attention more to, you know, the ground and my surroundings, and I'm not in as big a hurry, and I'm not as anxious to try to get over things. You know, I finished him in like May, and by July is when I rolled him the first time, when I first had him. And I was just, you know, I had to prove how cool and bad he was, and I messed up. So since I've rebuilt him, I'm not as anxious to try to get over that hill that guy in the buggy just got over, or that guy with the 40-inch tires and the 1-ton axles on. I just, you know, I get over what I can and have a good time with it, and I get where I get whenever I get there. I just made that up. Sound like a crock.
That sounded awesome. Let's go into the show. I don't know.
It is something you'll learn your lessons the hard way with this, because, you know, it's expensive. You break something, it's expensive, and it was a 2-year process to put him back together when I rolled him.
When I was growing up, every car we had a name.
Yeah.
Why do we do that?
I don't know. I've always had an attachment to my vehicles, and when growing up, we didn't have money, and so, but I always liked cars, and I always liked nice cars, and so if I wanted a nice car, I had to figure out how to do it myself, and so it creates this attachment, and you know, you get kind of a bond with your vehicle. It breaks your heart when you roll or when you wreck something. It's heartbreaking. I'll see little things go wrong that makes me look at something else that would have been a lot more worse if I hadn't looked at that little thing. And I feel like it's Bart saying, hey, you know, you need to look here, because I don't remember what it was, but I had something happen that made me look underneath, and I found that I was missing a plug off my transfer case. And if I wouldn't have found that plug missing out of my transfer case, I'd have lost all my transfer case oil and had a real serious problem. So I feel like he lets me know when things are wrong. It's just a big old rock garden that, you know, you've got to pay attention to where you're going. You don't want to, you know, you've got these big boulders that are right in the middle, so you don't want to cross those over the center of your car. They'll whack your axles or whack your transfer case. So I try to take them from the side rather than going straight over them.
How do you know that you're not going to get, you know, miles into a trail and then come across something you can't get over or past or around or through?
Well, and I guess you just turn around and go back the way you came in. I mean, there's a lot of trails that are one-way only trail, or, you know, you go in and you go back out the same way you came in. So, yeah, I don't know. You don't really worry about getting in someplace and not being able to get out. I mean, there's been a lot of situations where we get in 10 miles into a trail and somebody breaks something.
Right.
And then, you know, we have to figure out a way to get them back. You know, there's things that you have to do to get out. You can't just leave your vehicle where it's at. So, you know, we rig things to get ourselves out. I remember one time when I was a kid, a distributor cap's where all your spark plug wires come together. We broke a distributor cap and we taped it back together with credit card and electrical tape, and it got us home. That's more the bigger challenge than you know, really not being able to get out. It's what happens if somebody breaks. So we all try to have the things that we need to be able to overcome whatever happens. You know, most of us carry air. Most of us carry some kind of compressor. We've all got jacks. I've got a full assortment of tools. I've got an impact gun. I can do just about anything with the tools that I have. So that's probably the more important thing to worry about is what to do if something happens. This is kind of the end of the hard. You'll notice everybody's much farther ahead than I am. I don't like to go fast.
Randy, thank you so much for letting me ride with you and for answering my questions. That was awesome. You and Bart, stay safe out there. To everyone else, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And we will see you out on the trail.